What up, what up? Quick little video. Real quick. Quick little video. It's really funny to me how the universe brings things to me as far as information and knowledge. It's very interesting because it's almost like I can go into any path and that shit can literally have nothing to do with what the sum of what I was thinking about is about. Like I can go from like thinking of clothing and literally be at science, because that's exactly what happened, and this I'm about to explain in this video. So I'm looking at clothes. I was looking at like all black design. Like I was just thinking of blackness and just in how it applies to, you know, designing clothes and silhouettes and all that good stuff. And for some reason, I land on dark energy. So I'm looking up dark energy. And I'm looking like, okay, this is what dark energy is. I'm looking at Google, looking at the science websites. And then I come across protons, electrons, and neutrons. And I'm like, okay, so now I got my mind in this. I'm looking at it. I'm diving deep into it. And, you know, a proton is positively charged. An electron is negatively charged. And a neutron is neutral. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, okay. Because I know... For me, back in the day, when it came to school and a lot of things like that, I never could really lock into it because I don't know, it was just the way I was being taught, where my mind was at. It just seemed like things were so separate to me. Like what I was being taught literally had nothing to do with me as a human and as an individual. So I'm just like, what the fuck am I learning this for? But as I get older, I realize like every human being is a walking universe. You're a walking planet. And so now when I hear certain scientific things, I apply it to myself. And not on a like biological, you know, scientific term. No, we really like in the life. So I'm like, okay, protons, neutrons, electrons. So to me, an example of a proton being a human being in the life, living life, it would be like me attracted to something that I like. Me going towards something that charges me up, that gives me energy, that I feel good off of. And the negative charge, an electron, would be something that repels me, something like, okay, now I don't want no parts of that. I don't want to deal with that. So a neutron though is neutral. It has no charge. So I'm like, isn't that what a lot of religious and spiritual teachers and just texts and just metaphysics and all that, you know, isn't that what we actually focus on more now that it go to the left or to the right or to the right to the left, but to actually stay centered and to stay in your 0 point? Because that to me is what a neutron represents. Actually, and scientifically it is. It has a zero base number, so they say it's neutral. But to me, I feel like that's also the problem in science is that, well, and not all scientists, because it's degrees and levels to science, but like, to me, the problem is that no one counts the 0 as a number. No one counts the 0 as a number. It's just like, it's nothing. But if you think about it, 0 is actually the unlimited potential to get to all the other numbers. So to me, a 0 would be like, your 0 point would be like all the potentiality of your whole life. Like it's you before you take that job offer. Before you even knew you was going to take that job, or it's you before you made that action. All of your causes and effects, all your outcomes is within this 0 point. And it's not until you go forth on one of those possibilities, to me, that's when it becomes the 1. But 0 in itself, to me, still matters, and it's still a sum to me. Like it still should count for something. So, because even think about, let's break this down on a human, regular day, everyday level. You ain't got nothing in your account, right? Like if you had, let's say you got 0 in your account. Let's say you got 0 in your account. That 0, depending on who you are, that 0 is still going to make you go get some money. You see what I'm saying? Like, because to me in scientific terms, they're saying 0 like the absence of everything. But to me, no, like if you feel a lack in your life, you're going to go do something to fulfill that. Now, how you fulfill it, that ain't up to me. And that's not what we talking about. You're still making the action to go do something. So okay, I already broke down 0. So then I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, neutrons. What have I seen in, okay, so like I said, for example, the first example was, if you go to any metaphysical, spiritual teacher, spiritual text, and fuck all of them, you just meditate for yourself. You just, lock into your energies, into, the energetic forces externally and internally in you. You can only really do that by tapping into your 0 point. What would be your 0 point? Meditation. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you go inside of yourself and start looking for the answers and start looking for, your own type of information inside of you and your internal process. And I'm like, okay, what is an example of this? Jimmy Neutron. The show Jimmy Neutron. Like, these shows that come out, they literally be like, bro, it's so, when I look back on all the shows I used to watch, bro, it's so many gems in that shit, it don't make no sense. So let's talk about Jimmy Neutron for a second. First of all, this man was a boy genius. Why didn't they call him Jimmy Proton? Why didn't they call him Jimmy Electron? Because if you think about it in the show, this man never looked up any information. I feel like that's kind of too what, like, protons and electrons can mean, even in a, let's not, because science is the world, but we just talking about every day-to-day living life. You going towards information from an outside source that you feel positively attracted to. That would be, to me, like a proton path. It's funny, too, because what they got, the left hand and the right hand path in the magic system. And then you got, your electron. So you would be going more towards, a more negative aspect of how you see your life. But really, to me, you should always stay neutral. You should tap into your neutral, your 0 point. And that's, to me, when you get the real information. Because if you go too much on the proton side, I feel like that's how you get these, like, delusional ass people who just be like, love and light, love and light, love and light, love and light. And then if you go too much on the electron side, it's like, atheism, everything is dark and everything is just death, you know what I mean? But if you stay in that neutral point, to me, it's the real truth, because it's no bias. See, if I go on the proton side, I'm going towards a mindset where it's like based off of a certain perspective that's already charged, that already, like, it's not really my perspective. And same thing if I go on the electron side. Like, you cannot get the whole of something if you're playing sides. And I feel like the neutron, that 0 point, is where we really supposed to come from. On top of that, yeah, going back to the Jimmy Neutron, every time he was looking for an answer to any of his problems, what did it show him doing? It literally showed him think, go inside his mind. Electrons and protons would start moving around inside of him. He did not go out. This nigga did not go on the computer. Think about it. This man was a math genius, had a whole lab and everything. This man never used, like, his stuff to look up more information. It always came from him. If you think about the Jimmy Neutron series, it always came from him. It didn't come from nobody else. And I feel like it's because he locked into his 0 point. That's why his name is Jimmy Neutron. He locked into his 0 point. And that's when all the information came in. So that's it. That's all I want to talk about. That's it. Y'all be easy. Just out here, decoding, exploring, excavating information. Y'all take it easy. Peace.